K8BYP was the balanced dipole myth. Do you know where the myth comes from? The round coax, so to speak, is unbalanced, which it is, and must be used with the balun because the dipole is balanced. Well, that's a lie, myth, and a hoax. If that was true, I wouldn't be stomping Europe with a wad on that dipole. Or that one. Because I can assure you, the antenna is unbalanced, the transmission line is unbalanced, and they are perfectly matched. So where does this lie, myth, and hoax come from? It comes from doing it wrong, relying on oversimplifications and not understanding the most basic electromagnetics. The myth is that this is a dipole and the fields do that, and that's the emission off the antenna, and that's utterly false. Maybe that's what happens after emission, but that is not what happens with regard to the transmission line. That will definitely happen with regard to the transmission line if we screw up and make an inverted V. All the field coupling between those two parallel lines. Narrow bandwidth, highly capacitive, can't match. 30 kC wide at the best. As I found with a analyzer right on the feed point of the 20-meter dipole, when the dipole sags like this, and I had the analyzer right on the feed point, that caused reactance, capacitive reactance, narrow banded, couldn't match it. It would only come to match at one very, very, very narrow frequency, or very narrow frequency range, because of all this coupling. Pick that feed point up and that disappears. This doesn't happen. This happens. Electrostatic coupling between the ends of these wires. If the coax is coming up and there's a wire here and a wire there, there's coupling between these two, but it's a very small area, very small capacitance. In transmission line theory, a single wire above ground is unbalanced. Two wires above ground, and we can't see them because we're looking on the side, but imagine that's twin lead running horizontally. There are fields between the two, but what balance means is that both of them have the same fields from each wire to ground. It's not about that. This is not the transmission line. This is. This is dipole feed point above earth, ground. When these conductors are straight in line, there's essentially no field like this. We've eliminated that by making this straight. Minimal fields and coupling there. The fields are here. That is not balance just because there are two lines and they do the same thing to ground. If they were, my antennas would not be almost 3 megahertz wide and be perfectly matched and work Europe with a watt or less. Wouldn't happen. These arms are unbalanced line, and this is an unbalanced line with regard to ground. And that is proven by the fact that the matching at this feed point is absolutely exactly dependent on the diameter of that wire, the height of that wire above the plane ground, and the length, and those are precisely single wire unbalanced transmission line principles from a real credible book like Radio Antenna Engineering by Laporte, chief engineer of RCA, not some hack at ARRL. Therefore, no magic balun is needed. What the balun is really doing in most of these systems is covering up the fact that there is a horrific mismatch between 300 ohm twin lead and a 30 maybe to 100 ohm dipole feed point with a bunch of reactance. And the balun isn't a balun, it's a transformer, and it's covering up a gross mismatch. Perhaps you've heard of 9-to-1 Balun, buzzword thrown around. Well, 9-to-1 is a 450 ohm twin lead transformer to a 50 ohm unbalanced line. And yes, there's a conversion between line types, but what's really happening is that this is a transformer. That's a transform ratio. There's 950s and 450. When you treat a dipole as unbalanced, the need for a balun goes away. Use 50 or 75 ohm line into a 50 or 75 ohm dipole, the need for a transformer goes away. The losses go away. The cost goes away. And also goes away an extra 2 or 3 pounds of hardware at the feed point that makes the antenna sag even more and makes this worse. So, enough of the myth and the lies and the nonsense. This information I'm bringing you is from PhD level text. And again, right out that window. And 3,000 contacts in that logbook, absolutely putting to shame these kludges with these screwed up dipoles out of tune, twin lead baluns and tuners and UNs and all that magical garbage. And I regularly humiliate and embarrass these operators on the air because they got to have lean ears to operate their screwed up antenna systems. And I'm doing lucky if I do more than 10 watts here. Occasionally I just want to blast a pile up out of the sky, so I turned up to 50 or 100. So there it is. No balanced dipole. They are unbalanced antennas. KBYP.